What up, everybody? After flipping the Attorney General A.G. Sackrider in episode 7 and getting him to restore their liquor license, Tulsa King Season 3 episode 8 starts out with Dwight and the crew opening back up Montague Distillers. Keeping in mind that the liquor license and everything for the distillery is actually in Dwight's sister Joanne's name. So if Jeremiah Dunmire really wanted to try to hurt Dwight in the heart and in the pockets, he would try to target Joanne and take her off the board. And after getting arrested at the end of episode 7 for attacking the Attorney General in his office, episode 8 also starts out with Jeremiah Dunmire getting out of jail and getting picked up by Cole. And when the Dunmires got home, there was a stranger waiting in their driveway, none other than the watchmaker, Dexter Deacon, who had just got done preparing a bomb. As the watchmaker let Dunmire know that he was sent there to kill him, but Deacon didn't trust Dwight, saying that Dwight approached him on business, but he said that Dwight clearly loathed him. And because of that, he expected that Dwight had ulterior motives, and he planned on killing Dwight. So this explains why Deacon was making moves like showing up at Dwight's place of business to meet, and why he made Dwight meet him during the exact time his event was taking place. But Deacon also asked Dunmire about destroying other people in Dwight's life with the bomb that he had built. And because of this, Dunmire told Deacon that he showed up at just the right time, because at this point Dunmire was pretty much out of moves that he could make on his own. So Dunmire sent Deacon to bomb the Delmore Grand Hotel where Cal Thresher was going to be holding a fundraiser and giving a speech for his governor campaign. Keeping in mind that Dwight mentioned last episode that the current governor was in Dunmire's pocket, and that's how Dunmire got the AG his seat. So in addition to taking out Dwight's lady, Dunmire was also targeting Thresher with the intent of making sure that he wouldn't become the governor. And ideally for Dunmire, with Deacon killing Dwight and Thresher getting killed by the bomb, things would go back to the way that they've been. While preparing for this event, Margaret took a call from Dwight and told Dwight that if everything were to go well at the event, that they would have a future governor. And a lot of this depended on the endorsement from a bishop from the Pentecostal coalition. Tulsa being in the Bible Belt and the bishop having influence over multiple congregations would ultimately play a big factor in how a lot of people would end up voting. And later at the event, the bishop agreed to endorse Cal when Margaret said that Cal would join his church as a member and pay his tithes, and reminded the bishop that Cal's a billionaire. After planting the bomb at the Delmore Grand Hotel, Deacon then called Dwight telling him he's ready and for Dwight to meet him at a gas station. But Dwight told Deacon that he would pick the location this time, and when he got off the phone, Dwight told Mitch to get Bigfoot because he was going to need backup. And then he called Musso to give him the details concerning the meeting. While all this was taking place, after robbing the frat of their pills in episode 7, Tyson and Spencer's next move was getting rid of the pills, and they wanted to throw a party where they offloaded all the pills in one night, but they needed a location to do this at. So they approached Bodie about using the higher plane for the location, and he agreed under the terms that he got 25% off the door, and that Spencer and Tyson did an even split off the drug profits with him as well. But one of the conditions with Tyson selling these pills is that Dwight can't find out about it, because Dwight's old school and stays away from drug dealing. So now Tyson, Spencer, Bodie, and Goody have all profited from this and are all keeping it hidden from Dwight. It kind of reminds me of the movie Goodfellas, how Henry was running drugs behind Paulie's back. When Dwight met up with Agent Musso to get ready to make the bust, he let Agent Musso know that he knows what he did, talking about locking up Bevilacqua and making it look like Dwight did something to him. So Bevilacqua's been locked up for a minute now, and it sounds like he still hasn't even gotten as much as a phone call. But Musso let Dwight know that he couldn't risk letting Bevilacqua get in the middle of what they had going on. On the way to make the deal, Musso was letting Dwight know how everything needed to be done by the book and even wanted Dwight to wear a wire for insurance, saying that the case needed to be airtight. And on the way to the meeting, it was also revealed why Agent Musso wanted to take down Deacon so bad. It's because his partner was killed trying to save people from a bomb that Deacon had made, where 20 civilians were also killed that day. Musso also let Dwight know that he would let him out as long as everything went as planned. But when Dwight went into the meeting, he threw the wire on the ground, and because Deacon's plan was to kill Dwight, there was no bomb, as that was at the hotel that he planted it at earlier. But Deacon pulled a gun on Dwight with the intention of killing him when Mitch and Bigfoot came out from hiding and turned the tables on Deacon. Then they took him out the back of the barn where they had a vehicle waiting and took Deacon away while the feds were still trying to figure out why they weren't hearing anything on the wire. And by the time they went in to see what was going on, Dwight was long gone with Deacon. As they took him to a burial site to finish him off, this was a Montague burial site, the same location that Theo Montague had the 50-year bourbon stash hid at. At this point, they beat and tortured Deacon, forcing him to give them information that they recorded for Dwight to give to Musso. While at Cal Thresher's governor event, there was some kind of no-phone policy, as it showed that people had to check their phones in upon arrival. At this event, Cal told Margaret that people were perceiving them as a couple and asked her to join his administration while also asking what Dwight wants from him and calling Margaret the Mafia Mole. Then he warned Margaret that if things were to go sideways, that they'd be after him, Dwight, and Margaret, and even if Dwight's bulletproof, Cal and Margaret weren't. While this fundraiser was taking place, Cole went to talk to his father, and even though Jeremiah didn't give Cole the details of his plan, it was enough for Cole to let Spencer know that his father said something about hurting people that Dwight cares about and targeting a hotel and hurting a lot of people. Because of that, Spencer went to tell Tyson what Cole told her, and Tyson called Dwight just as Dwight, Mitch, and Bigfoot were about to finish off Deacon. So once Dwight got the call from Tyson, he knew exactly what was going on. That Deacon had planted the bomb at the hotel with the intent of bombing the event. So Dwight called Musso to tell him about the bomb, and before finishing off Deacon, they made him tell them what time the bomb was going to detonate, which was 10 p.m. At this point, Mitch and Bigfoot put Deacon in the casket of Lawrence Montague, who was buried in 1875, 150 years ago. And out of all the ways to be taken out, that sounds like it would be a nightmare. So they really made Deacon suffer for all that he's done on the way out. But after finding out there was a bomb at the hotel where the fundraiser was taking place, Dwight tried reaching Margaret but couldn't get through, keeping in mind there was a no-phone policy at the event and everyone had to check their phone in. And at this point, it was just minutes until 10 o'clock when the feds arrived as well as Dwight, Mitch, and Bigfoot, and they got everybody evacuated right as the bomb went off. But after, Musso was still pissed off at Dwight about what happened and not being able to arrest Deacon. But when it comes down to it, they weren't going to get an arrest because he didn't show up to the meet with a bomb. He showed up with the intent of killing Dwight. But when Musso was confronting Dwight out in the open about this, Margaret and others were watching on, and Margaret asked Dwight who Agent Musso was. And the episode concluded with Dwight supposed to be meeting Musso the following day to tell him what he got on Dexter Deacon. But around the time that the bomb went off, Jeremiah was talking to Cole, and it seems like Jeremiah thinks that Dwight is dead. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.